All right. Have you ever felt like you're just drowning in a sea of letters? B2B, B2C, all that stuff? Well, today, we're going to make all of that super, super simple. We're breaking down how people and companies buy and sell things online. So let's just dive right in.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You see these letters everywhere, right? Especially if you're studying for an exam. B to B, B to C, C to C. It honestly feels like some kind of secret code. But hey, don't you worry because today we are going to crack that code together.
And you know what? It's actually way easier than you think. Seriously, forget trying to memorize a bunch of long, boring definitions. There's a simple key, really just a couple of questions that you need to ask yourself. And this key, it's going to give you the right answer every single time. So here it is. Let's call it the simple key. All you have to do, all you have to remember are these two little questions. First, who is the seller? And second, who is the buyer? That's it. That is literally the only tool you're going to need. So come on, let's put it to work and see how it goes.
Okay, first up, let's tackle B2C. That stands for business to consumer. And trust me, you probably use this one every single day without even thinking about it. So let's use our simple key. Question number 1, who's the seller? Well, in B2C, the seller is a business, a company. Just picture a big online store in your head. And now for question 2, who's the buyer? The buyer is a consumer. And what's a consumer? That's just a regular person, like you or me. So you've got a business selling to a consumer, B2C. See? Simple, right? So here's exactly how that works. You've got a business, let's say Flipkart, and they list a product on their website. Then they sell that product directly to a consumer, which is you. That's a perfect textbook B2C transaction right there. And really, these examples are just all around us. Think about it. When you buy that new phone you've been wanting from Amazon, that's B2C. Or when you get hungry and you order some biryani from Zomato, that's B2C too. In both of those situations, a business is selling something straight to you. Awesome. So now that we've totally nailed B2C, let's move on to the next one. Let's take a look at B2B, which, as you might guess, stands for business to business. Okay, time to pull out our simple key again. Who is the seller in B2B? Well, just like last time, the seller is a business. Some company is selling something. So far, so good? Sounds just like B2C, doesn't it? But here's where things get different. Who's the buyer? In B2B, the buyer is also a business. So you've got one business selling its products or its services to another business, not to a person like you or me. Let me give you a couple of real-world examples to make this click. Picture a big car company. It doesn't make its own tires, right? Of course not. It buys them from a company that specializes in making tires. That's a business buying from another business. Or, hey, think about your favorite restaurant. They probably buy all their vegetables in huge quantities from a big farm supplier. Platforms like IndiaMart, they are built completely around these kinds of deals. And here's something interesting. Even though we don't see it as much in our daily lives, the B2B market is absolutely massive, way, way bigger than the consumer market. Okay, we've covered B2C and B2B. We're on a roll. There's just one more main type we need to talk about. Let's check out C2C, which stands for consumer to consumer. Let's pull out our trusty simple key one last time. Who is the seller in C2C? Well, this time, the seller is a consumer. Yep, just a regular person, maybe even you, who wants to sell something they don't need anymore. So, who's the buyer? I bet you've already guessed it. The buyer is another consumer. It's just one person selling something directly to another person. Simple as that. I'm sure you've done this. Let's say you've got an old mobile phone just sitting in a drawer. You don't use it anymore, right? So you take a few pictures, you post an ad on a site like OLX, and then another person sees it and buys it from you. That, my friend, is a classic consumer-to-consumer or C2C deal. So let's just put this all together in one simple little chart to make sure it sticks. For B2C, you've got a business selling to a consumer. Think Flipkart. For B2B, it's a business selling to another business, like on IndiaMart. And finally, for C2C, it's one consumer selling to another consumer. Think OLX. See? When you break it down, it all just comes back to those two simple questions. Who's selling and who's buying? So here's the most important thing to remember, especially for your exams. When you see a question about these e-commerce models, please don't panic. Just take a second, take a deep breath, and remember the simple key. Just ask yourself, who is the seller and who is the buyer? I promise you, you will get the right answer every single time. And to wrap things up, I've got a little question for you.
Just think about your day so far. Did you buy anything online? Maybe order some food? Did you browse for any secondhand stuff? Which e-commerce model did you actually use today? Once you start looking for it, you'll see this stuff is happening all around you, all the time. Thanks so much for tuning into this explainer.